Hey, my people, welcome to the God Pure Wisdom Show. Before we get into the show, we got a real good breakdown of what the topic is today. We're talking about the short-lived engagement relationship between Michael B. Jordan and Lori Harvey. They called it their plans off to tie the knot, and well, actually, it was more Lori who wants to prefer to be single and focus on her career. So we're gonna be talking about that and much more, and how this relates to other women and most of the things that other men like face in their relationships when they're trying to pick out the perfect woman to marry. So we're gonna get into this intro, and we'll be right back with myself and brother Augustus V.
Hey, what's up, people? Welcome to the God Pure Wisdom Show on the Transform You Media Network. This is the only show where you can try His wisdom. Make sure you check us out by visiting Instagram at God Pure Wisdom. That's God Pure Wisdom on IG. Enjoy the show. Hey, what's up, people? Welcome to the God Pure Wisdom Show.
All right, we're back. Hit them off with that slogan, brother Augustus V.
Yes. Welcome all to the God Pill Wisdom Show, the show where you can take God's pill for his wisdom.
Indeed. So you guys already got a little intro into what the topic is about today. And as always, do us a favor by hitting that notification bell, subscribing to the channel, hitting us with a like. Likes are appreciated. Comments also are free too to leave, and we would like to hear from our audience. You guys are the best. We appreciate you, and much more. So do help us to further the efforts of this particular podcast by liking, commenting, subscribing, and sharing. All right, brother. What's your initial thoughts about this topic, man? This is one that I feel like Kevin Samuels' ghost is kind of hunting us now, because he kind of called this one out.
Oh man, I'm telling you. Big. These are one of those times where KS is most definitely missed for sure. And I think he has called this one out many times, many times too many. But my goodness, man, this is it. This is a prime example. And these are two people where, well, I always had a lot of respect for Michael B. Jordan.
Right.
Even in the, in his choosing concerning relationships, but up until this one, for sure, up until this one, and we're gonna get into it. But my initial thoughts is this one is it has to be touched on, because many brothers that, and when I say brothers, I don't mean race. I mean many other men, young men, should pay attention to how this ends when you choose a specific type of woman. And
specific type of woman is right, brother.
Yeah.
that's all I keep thinking about, man. Specific type of woman. And the funny part about all of this is that, like, you got many women coming to the bat to, I guess, defend Lori Harvey. They defending her, and they making it seem that, like, the whole idea of them separating is not a bad idea at all, and for this young woman to go back and doing what she was doing, and that's jumping from man to man, and I can't wrap my head around it, brother. Why do you think that our modern women today, are so gun-ho about cheerleading women who would prefer to put themselves out there like that, and rather than settling down, they rather ride the carousel, if you know what I mean?
Yeah. Just simply no entitlement. no
Mhm.
entitlement. This country doesn't hold women accountable to their actions. Um, and by the time we do hold women accountable in this country, I mean, she done took a whole legion out. It's too late at that point. So yeah, it's just no accountability. And I mean, if anybody were to be in any position where they could do something and not be held accountable, I mean, what kind of damage could they accomplish?
Right.
And I mean, that's how I'm seeing it from here.
I was just talking to a to my cousin actually. And to be honest, we was talking about like the accountability issue that we're facing when we're talking about women and accountability. It's like those two words don't go go hand in hand with each other.
Yeah,
And one of the hugest thing that like a lot of men would like is if women to start sharing in the accountability. If they will start sharing in when they are wrong. One thing that we do know of is that this, if you look in terms of biblical, Adam and Eve, that was the first first instances of of women uh, I not taking accountability right there, and they stripped the whole idea of the man being in charge, and they took charge themselves to make a decision to cause the fall of all humankind. Granted that poor Adam, he should have did more to remember what God said, but also the woman knew what God said too. She was right there when he was talking to Adam, but instead she chose to go out her own way and say, well, we're gonna do it this way, because I don't want to just be fully submitted to nobody. I'm gonna do my own thing, and this is what we find ourselves at centuries later, where
yeah,
women want to do their own thing.
yeah, 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 most definitely. And see, man, we need to learn from God. We need to learn from God, especially in this country. I mean, the way that we've let things go so far. Uh, when God seen what Eve has done, what she did, God held her accountable. He
Right.
held her accountable. He said, "You're not getting away with this." And from here on out, things are going to be a little tougher for you on this earth, and for every other woman that comes on this earth, to ensure that she doesn't make life harder for her man. You know?
Yeah, and not just for her man, for herself though. I,
Yeah,
I mean, how much better could you get after Michael B. Jordan? I mean, unless
yeah,
you shooting for the stars.
yeah,
I mean, if
yeah,
you shoot for the stars, you definitely going to have to get an Elon Musk or somebody like that. I mean,
yeah,
does he really get any better than that? And when we're talking about dating within the same race, because one of the things that the black community uh, get down on each other about is these fairy tale relationships where you got a beautiful black woman and then a wealthy, successful, accomplished, and chiseled, well chiseled young black man getting together, and they making beautiful, more beautiful black babies, and also uh, just improving our overall view of how society views us as a black race. But instead, many people blame the man, like, okay, well, it's you guys' fault for the way things are. But how is it, when we got our women stepping away from us?
mm, yeah, yeah, yeah. That's big, and man, there's so much. One side of it is just the issue, the regional issue that we have in the western side of the world, due to Hollywood. And for the listeners, you guys heard this before from us. We know about, we've dealt with the impact that Hollywood has had on relationships since the 60s. We've had discussions on how certain wars that we've had has impacted relationships. But aside from that, this girl in particular, she's a little different. I'm, I'm looking at her and I'm like, man, before I even get into this girl, because Michael B. Jordan, dealing with him, that's gonna be easy. That's gonna be, that's applesauce. Dealing with this girl though, I gotta start off with some scripture. Let me see. Let me go ahead and start you guys off with Proverbs 7 and verse 26 and 27. And this is talking about the type of woman that Lori Harvey is showing herself to be. Proverbs 7 verse 26. For she hath cast down many wounded, yea, many strong men have been slain by her. Verse 27. Her house is the way to hell, going down to the chambers of death. See, so when most guys talk about getting with a harlot-like woman, this isn't the usual rap that you would get from them. They're usually talking about how much of a good time they had, how great she was, how much however much she was able to do for them. They're not talking about the fact that this girl has cast down many many other men down to the gates of hell. Talking about highway to heaven. Well, how about highway to hell? See, and this girl, I'm gonna go ahead and let you speak on this, brother. But after this, man, I'm gonna get into this list of guys that this girl's been with. Man, it's hilarious once you look at this.
Yeah, man, Lori Harvey. Man, when you consider her past, from dating Diddy's son to dating Diddy the father, and dating Future, who has as many kids as me, maybe even more. I'm not sure. So, and you know what type of toxicity he brings to the table. It's one thing to have a fill of kids, but it's another thing to be toxic. So she dealt. Ain't no telling what she dealt with in that relationship, and then just a host of other men, maybe who's not even as famous that she has dealt with. There's a commandment, in 1 Corinthians 7:25 and 40, that tells young women, it says, like, now regarding the question about young women who not yet married, I do not have a command for the Lord for you yet, but the Lord in His mercy has given me the wisdom that can be trusted and shared with you. Paul goes on to say that because of the present crisis, I think it's best to remain as you are. So that it does not. So if you have a wife, so do not seek to end the marriage. If you do not have a wife, do not seek to get married. And if you do get married, it is not a sin. And if you're a young woman who gets married, it is not a sin. However, those who are married, they just not have troubles and so on and so on. But it's saying that, like, if you're a young woman, you got to keep yourself chaste.
Yeah.
Like, why are you out here dating? Why are you out here going from this man to this man to this man? And why are you listening to these other women that's telling you to, like, hey, like, girl, go out and have you some fun. Go out and share yourself, and that's how you get your empowerment. Well, God never said that. God never intended for a young woman to go out and be dated. Go out and be constantly dating and giving herself up. So she's supposed to arrive at the man that's best suited for her, and get married. And if that's not what she wanted, and that's not what she's intended to do, she need to let that man know right out the gate, like, hey, either go talk to my pops, or hey, we just gonna be just a friendship, or whatnot, and we not gonna do anything, But instead, we got women that's playing the hookup game as though they are men.
Wow. Yeah, that's big. That's heavy, man. That's it's gotten out of hand too. I mean, it's really gotten out of hand, especially for by the time Generation Z is had a little more time within the dating scene. Man, there's really no saying how far they're going to take this, because I mean, other than the manosphere, no one's really speaking out against this. No one's really shaming women for doing shameful things. And these are one of those shameful things, hooking up as if they're starting towns and starting nations and starting kingdoms. No, the woman is not there to start kingdoms. The woman's not there to start nations. The woman is there to protect and to build the image behind the last name of the man that she's under. See, so for her to be going around perpetrating, really, and impersonating a king, that's not.
That's a good one, brother.
Man, it doesn't make sense, and it's very sad, because a lot of these young ladies, they're actually, if you sit down and talk to these young ladies today, for the listeners, if you guys are out there, if you sit down and talk to any of these young ladies and try to really pick their brain, you'll realize how delusional many of them are, because no one's giving them the game that they need to live to live a righteous life. They actually believe that they can screw guys over when they're young, and then once they're older, get with a simp and settle down with him and live happily ever after. Now, don't get me wrong, there will be enough simps for these girls that's playing around, having thousands of, having their numbers in the thousands while they're young, and then by the time they're older, there will be enough simps for them. But the issue, what a lot of young ladies don't understand right now, is that if they even do settle down with a simp, the battle on their mind, the battle on their psyche, there's no way to explain it. There's no way to warn against it, because there's no way to explain it. Women that screw guys over, I'm gonna just say it, women that screw guys over, multiple guys over when they're young, and settle down with a simp when they're older, they battle with thoughts of suicide. Suicide. Because they have trouble going to sleep at night, knowing that they're with a guy that does not deserve to be fixing these psychological issues, that does not deserve to be with the leftovers of 1,000 other men. She knows that. She knows that he doesn't know that. And she has to sleep at night, find a way to sleep at night, every night, laying alongside this guy.
Wow. Ooh, brother, you caught me right at women impersonating kings. You said so much good stuff in there, brother. People impersonating kings, people who, women that are, and that's, where that comes from. That's that boss chick, like, oh, let's be a boss chick, boss it up.
Yeah.
And where do we do that at? Since when were women commanded to like go build a kingdom? And you said, something very crucial about the fact that, like, women are supposed to fall underneath the man's last name, and then the legacy grows from there. But instead, they out here trying to create their own legacy, minus the man, and build a name great upon their name, and that's just, how does that work? Because that's just it's just not natural. It's nothing divine about it, and once, and you can think that for once that, like, hey, I'm just going to be, I'm going to do what a man does. I'm going to be a king, and your kingdom going to get stripped right down, because the legacy is going to get carried through that father seed. The legacy, like, you just buried a child, you just carried the child, and once that child grows up, whatever you left of that child, goes on with that child. There's nothing pretty elaborate about that. This is why we have a long memory of, like, many great men, and we have very short memory of, like, women have done great things. Not to discount them or anything like that. I mean, it's definitely what they have done has been impactful to history and whatnot. But at the end of the day, it's more expected for a man to step up and to carry along, carry along the kingdom, or to build a kingdom, because you're gonna need a man to protect it.
Yeah.
The other issue, and you brought up something, brother, is the fact of the psychological issues. I can just imagine Lori Harvey's. She's going to need tons of therapy for the inability to pair bond. Who is she going to be able to, like, to pair with? Like, there's the absence of the natural empathy and the other intuitive things that women are naturally built with. The more you sleep around, that starts to diminish after a while. You get numb to the fact. It's like purposely putting yourself out there to be raped. They get similar characteristics and similar symptoms as a rape victim almost. I was just thinking about that, brother, and I was like, man, it's very similar to, like, a prostitute, and what a prostitute goes through after sleeping with so many men, and that's where you get that whole saying, like, you can't turn a HO into a housewife.
Yeah,
and there's a reason for that.
Yeah,
because a lot of her natural feminine traits has been diminished over time. So now you got a soulless, emotionless woman, and you bring kids into this world with her. The kids suffer, from being emotionally taken care of and looked after, and then the cycle repeats itself.
Man, that's powerful. This is see, this is why this needs to be talked about. This is why we had to do this, because man, that's just I'm still thinking about what you said about man, how is that psychological numbness? It numbs them. It numbs them. They become numb, and that's powerful, brother. That's powerful. It does numb them when they when they have multiple partners and they try to operate like we do as men. Because in all essence, I mean, it was never intended for us men to be with multiple women and then great numbers of women, but at least God ordains it. At least God has made it possible for us to bring life into this world with multiple women, and it's still, you know, his at least God's will could still be accomplished when we have multiple partners. But women, on the other hand, if they have multiple men, you know, God's will is kind of being rebelled against.
Right.
And just that alone, I mean, that shows how much chaos is in women being with multiple partners. And it's to the point where a lot of men today are have been programmed to actually be attracted to this kind of woman. I remember, you know, in my past, I was attracted to this kind of woman, and I'm ashamed to say, but it's because that's what everyone was being programmed to want. You know, I was delusional. I thought that I could get with a girl that, you know, was a lady in the streets, but a freak in the bed, and that was very attractive, very fun. You know, all these things, right? And at the same time, be submissive to me, and at the same time love me, and at the same time love God. I was delusional in believing that, and it wasn't until some mentors pulled me aside and said, "Hey, you know, this is reality. If this is what you want, this is what you're gonna have to do to get, you know, that. And these are the things that don't come with what you want." And it's all of the answers are right there in Scripture as well. And not to go too far on me, but that's just it. It's so bad that many of the men today, they don't know how to choose a wife because they don't even know what to look for. And when I say many dudes, you know, many of these guys have been with Lori Harvey.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I mean, I'm looking at this list of guys that she's been with. It looks like she's trying to be the next Kim Kardashian. Um, man, I mean, just to quickly go through this list, she's been with with Akon's brother. I may badger his name. Abu Taim or Tiam. Abu Tiam. That's Akon's brother. She's been with Future, as you mentioned. She's been with Diddy. She's been with Diddy's son. I don't know which in which order. She's been with Trey Songz. She's been with Lewis Hamilton, the multi-time F1 champion. She's been with Memphis Depay. Don't know who this guy is. She's been with. I mean, this is sad. It looks like she's trying to be the next Kim Kardashian, but you know, like trying to be an Amazon power seller, unless you know somebody or unless you have a lot of ducats that you're willing to put into it, you're not gonna blow up. It's been done before. It's no longer a hot market. See,
Right. Yeah, brother. Go on. And I can't leave off of the bit why men have the ability to spread their seeds and women don't. Okay, this is something that's it's so controversial now, and why the feminist movement really pushed sexual liberation in the first place. They, you know, and like it's because they ignored. And you said it, brother. You gave hint to it, you know, too, like that it was God's command to man specifically to be fruitful and increase in number, multiply on the earth. You know, that's in Genesis 9 and 7. You know, men are capable of impregnating multiple women in the same time period. You know, and that what that does, that causes humanity to grow much faster than if each man was only producing one child each year.
yeah,
So we are commanded, actually, brother. Like and people wonder, like, okay, why did God take a silent stance on polygamy? You know, in the Bible, why was it okay for man to have all these multiple wives and concubines in the Bible? Because if you think about it, unmarried women at that time was was subjected to prostitution and slavery. Okay, so if you were found, walking out there, around by yourself as a woman, and you didn't have no man covering you, you got put in slavery and prostitution. I mean, and if you think about it, that's the same thing that's going on. It's still going on,
Oh, yeah.
except that like these women are involuntarily prostituting themselves, involuntarily, making themselves slaves to lust, making themselves slaves to man that ain't worth it, gay, and slave to money, because hypergamy is real. They have hypergamous natures where they trying to they think they can get better than the last man, get better than the last man, keep sleeping around till they find the right one, whatever the hell that means. But back then women were very uneducated, untrained, and they had to rely on their fathers, brothers, and husbands for provision and protection. And for some reason, modern women, think the complete opposite. Think that like protection and provision means that like men are flexing on them, and that like that their rights are being taken away, right? And that's just not the case. I mean, Solomon had 700 wives and 300 concubines, and essentially they were wives of lower status, but again, it just goes to the fact that like, in a patriarchal society, this works. Okay, it can't be the other way around. You're not going to see, 700 men with one woman, and it's going to slow down society. We're going to kill society at a slow rate.
Yeah. Let's not to mention that those 700 men will be killing each other.
It'll cause chaos, brother.
Yeah.
And it does cause chaos.
Yeah. Even in the in the bee society. I mean, bees they have a backward society in the sense where they do fight to get with the queen bee, but if anyone observed those bees, I mean, there's a lot of killing within those societies. It's a real Hunger Game.
Those colonies die off, brother.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
They die off. You after the queen has died, and if she's lucky to have had a female bee, they waiting for that one.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
But those colonies die off, and we wonder why there's so many honeycombs that's left empty. And this is why we're facing a bee shortage now. There's bees are at extinction, at the big extinction. I don't know if they have fixed that. I might have to fact check myself, but I remember there was one time bees were on the brink of extinction, and it's due to the fact of what you're saying, brother. The queen bees was refusing to reproduce, with any other bees of the colony, the colony, because of there's a certain time of the season where she's able to like come on out and get busy, but for a reason with climate change that was screwing that all up, and so we start seeing like an increase in our honey, and that's because there was a decrease in the number of bees that was around to produce it.
Wow, that's powerful. That's a powerful concept. And man, the whole time you was just explaining that, I'm thinking of Western society right now.
Yeah,
that's what these households are looking like.
Yeah, that's exactly what they're looking like. You got queen bees and no male bees to mate with these women. Or they just going around mating with everybody, but they're not producing anything. You got to produce. Out of these relationships, you're supposed to produce. You're supposed to reproduce out of these relationships. And if you're not reproducing, you're supposed to be with a man to help to help him to produce something in society. But because we got the epidemic of loneliness increasing at a high rate, we got men who are taking themselves out or banging their heads against the wall, or trying to figure out like how can I get with a woman, rather than chasing after purpose.
Man, yeah, that's one of the saddest parts of it, is the results that or really the consequences that lifestyle brings, and it's just not worth it. It's not worth it, even for someone that's numb to reality. It's not worth it.
Yeah, and just to cut you off real quickly, brother, I found I fact checked myself. There was a January 18, 2022 article about the American honeybee declining by 89%.
Okay.
So that's at brightly.eco. If anyone wants to check that out, an article, entitled "Are Bees Endangered?" So yeah, go ahead, brother. Sorry about that.
Yeah, no problem. That's very important for us to observe. Very important for us to observe. And the sad thing about it is the bees just might correct that issue before we do. They just may fix their issue before we fix ours. That's the sad thing about it.
Yeah, because if they extinct, brother, Albert Einstein said that like we would disappear off the face of the earth within 4 years, because that's a clear indication of what's happening, with our climate and with among among humans too. It's run like there's and then bees also help us to produce food.
Yeah.
That's another thing, So we wouldn't even be able to survive without these bees, brother. And so if we can't survive like with bees not pair balancing correctly, what makes you think we're gonna be able to survive much longer if everybody keeps turning to the LGBTQ community and these women, trying to exercise their false options?
Man, my goodness. Yeah, that's very true, brother. Man. So let me because as we're talking about this, I'm kind of scrolling through these articles, and I'm noticing some things on Michael B. Jordan. So Michael B. Jordan, we all know him. Fruitvale Station. What's the what is it? Saturday Night Lights. Yeah, that amazing series. Killmonger. He just played a Tom Clancy flick. Phenomenal role that he played.
Oh yeah, that was excellent.
Man, Creed. I mean, Thurgood Marshall. I mean, Michael B. Jordan has a phenomenal career. And he even off camera, I respect this guy, or even behind the scenes rather. But when it comes to his choosing in women, no, I'm not gonna joke. But Lori, she doesn't seem like the type of the type of woman that he would take seriously. And
Right.
I believe that there are some things that led up to him hooking up with her. Obviously, well, I won't necessarily say obviously, but anyone that's paid attention to him in the past, you'll see him with multicultural women. And there's been certain vlogs, supposedly, allegedly, where people were challenging him about, getting with women of his own race and dating sisters, because they'll see him with other, women of other ethnicity or other origins. But at the end of the day, it apparently he's just been enjoying the stardom, going out different countries, talking to girls from different countries. That's what you're supposed to do if you're a big time celebrity, and you're not worrying about slowing down or anything. But apparently, they've been pressuring him to the point where he actually got convicted and felt like he needed to get with a girl within his own race. So that will make a lot of sense for why or not the main reason, but one of the main reasons of why he got with Lori Harvey. That and well, I mean, really, that's all I could really go with, because I can't see any other reason for hooking up with someone that's been with Diddy and his son.
Yeah, brother.
Brother.
Yeah, I think he really thought he could change her too. I think he probably saw it as a project. Thought he could change her motor. But into that point about him like dating other women outside of the race, it makes sense now. It makes sense.
Yeah.
I mean, it's probably going to make a hell of a lot more sense now to him. Like after the experience that he has gone through, it's like why waste my time now with the B-dub? Why would I waste my time with the with women within my race? I can't get them to commit to me. I can't get the woman to be submissive to me.
Yeah.
And this is what's happening with a lot of men within the race. They starting to say they're getting fed up. They're getting fed up with the B-dub, and they are exercising their options. Because there are other women of other races. You got many subcultures of women in the Asian community. Korean, Thai, Hmong, Chinese. You got Latinos, and then you got those in the Middle East, and you got women, African women, women that's in the diaspora, it's African and Caribbean. Those fathers, the fathers of those women would love to have a Michael B. Jordan. They would gladly accept Michael B. Jordan, and because if you can recall, Steve Harvey, he was like kind of feeling some type of way about the relationship. And it was very confusing. And even with the breakup, he's fully supportive of the breakup.
Yeah.
So there's been some alleged reports about him coming out and saying like, hey, he fully supports the breakup, fully supports Lori Harvey's decision.
Yeah.
Which is nonsense. It's bananas.
Yeah.
I mean, I as a father, I wouldn't be able to like accept it.
Yeah.
After knowing the history of my daughter.
Yeah. Yeah, and just their relationship alone, it shows how troubled Lori Harvey is, and my heart goes out to her to an extent, because hey, you're driving down a road where there's a lot of turtles, and you run over one turtle. Okay, yeah, it was an accident. Two, all right, yeah, another accident that happens on this road, but let's kind of be a little more careful down this road. 3, 30, 60, 90. All right, this is what you like to do. You just like doing this,
Yeah.
And Lori Harvey, she obviously likes doing this. So my heart does go out to her to an extent. But Steve Harvey, on the other hand, allegedly, well, I won't say, well, yeah, I guess we could say allegedly, he's the stepfather to Lori Harvey. And her mother was on her what, I think it was her third marriage when she got with Steve Harvey. So so Steve Harvey, he's been taking Lori Harvey in as a adoptive daughter, as a stepdaughter, which is noble. That's good. But I mean, the young lady is kind of trouble when you look at her birth father and some of the things that his life was about. And then you look at her, then you look at Steve Harvey, and the fact that I won't say he's not a good role model, but we see how he's dealing with this, with the hookup of her and Michael B. Jordan. And when you see how Steve Harvey's dealing with the breakup, you could kind of see that Lori Harvey's not really getting the guidance that she needs.
No.
See, and that was the nicest way that I could say that about that scenario, specifically about Steve Harvey. But it's a sensitive topic, and there's many people that don't have their status that are dealing with the same stuff. So yeah, this does have to be dealt with.
Yeah, and then the apple doesn't fall too far from the tree, because like you said, brother, look at the mom. This is her third marriage, and ain't no
Yeah,
telling how many she had in between. That was almost marriages or one night stands or whatever. So,
yeah,
like daughter, like mom.
yeah,
So, and this is it's pretty pathetic at this point. And let's kind of focus on like what things man can do to kind of avoid getting themselves in this type of situation. For
mhm,
one, because the brother Jordan, he's a good brother, and
yeah,
I don't. There's other good brothers out there who's a highly qualified um, husband material man, and they want to do the right thing and walk away from the bachelor lifestyle and start a family and whatnot. And they rather do it with the right woman. And we got a lot of past episodes we did on how to find a right woman, but in this particular situation, what do you think men should do, you know, when they come across a young lady, beautiful young lady such as Lori Harvey, and they find out that she got this pass, or they know she got this pass, brother, what would be the right thing to do?
to give her a card to your therapist and to keep it pushing. I teach that. I teach that religiously.
Yeah,
I mean, it's simple. Jesus was the prime example. When he met Mary Magdalene, he didn't say, hey, so yeah, what's your number? What's going on, girl? What's going on? No, he cast a demon out of her, 7 of them. And there's some passages in scripture where it says that he did that multiple times. Cast the spirits out. They came back with 7 other demons per demon. So that were worse than themselves, and
wow,
Jesus had to cast all of them out too. See, so after he did that, then he said, you know what, you just roll with us for a while, just stay with us for a while, and we'll take care of you. But he didn't marry her. He
no,
didn't slide in her DMs.
mm-mm.
No, Jesus, he gave her a card to someone that could get her right, and he kept it pushing. See, and that's what we need to do as men. Whenever we come across a attractive young lady that we know could give us what we want, we don't get what we're not supposed to get what we want just because we could get it, just because we could get lucky. See, this is why I'm so big on manhood, because a lot of males out there, they don't know what it means to be a man. They're still learning. They don't understand. You're not supposed to be trying to get lucky with a woman.
Right,
You're a man. You don't get lucky with a woman. You put yourself in a position where you can take care of a woman, and you make your choice. You choose wisely. You don't get with the girl that needs psychotherapy, that needs psychological help, and
yeah,
bind yourself to her for the rest of your life. You don't do that. You get with the girl that was raised by both parents, that was raised to be a good wife, that was raised to be submissive, that has never seen a bad example of a man or a woman in her life, and you start a legacy with her. All the Lori Harveys, they could kick rocks. I'm sorry.
Yeah, that is definitely the right thing to do, brother. And we know some of our men, they just can't help themselves. If you happen to be one of the men that can't help yourself, you don't wipe this woman up. Okay.
Yeah.
You get in and get out. You
Yeah.
know, and I mean that like literally and figuratively. Get in and get out. And make sure you got protection when you go in. Um, the thing about it is I agree with you, brother. We shouldn't contribute more to the foolery of these women's decisions and choices. Yeah,
Yeah.
and you hear a lot of women. Well, I was manipulated. I was coerced. Yeah, and all type of things. To sleep with a man, but okay, maybe that was one or two times, but after the second time, young lady, are you sure is the man? You are the common denominator. At this point, you are the common denominator. And it is after two or three times, you it's like no, it's not impossible. And we should not like be adding on to their numbers so we can increase our numbers. Um, but again, there's a lot of men out there who will let this information fly over their head, and so for them, you don't stay with the woman, misleading her. I mean, because she's going to mislead you.
Yeah.
You're going to trying to mislead her, and she's going to be misleading you. You're gonna fall for her trying to mislead her, because she's gonna wrap some game on you so tight, that's gonna have you thinking that like, okay, well, I'm just trying to, be nice, and I don't want to just run off on her. But that's what she likes. She wants you to run off on her, But
Yeah.
instead, you're gonna stick around, get your money dried up, and get your emotions tied up, and be looking. You're gonna be looking left stupid.
Yeah.
This woman is gonna put it on you, and it might put something else on you that you can't cure. So it's important to recognize the red flags, as you said, brother. The absence of a two-parent household, looking at how well of relationships she got with her parents, if she got any, seeing looking at her mannerisms, and there's so many boxes to check before you say, okay, well, I'm going to invest, in this woman, because it just may not be worth it. Otherwise, you're just wasting your time. You're just playing games, And if you want to play games, I suggest you just like go for women that has a less body count. That'd be my advice.
Yeah. Yeah. Most definitely, brother. And yeah, it's just getting to a point where there was a day where a young lady could be missing many of the proper I would say natural attributes, like being born in a single parent household, not really having much of a good example. And there was a time where a man could find a young lady like that and things could still work out. I mean, they could still, she would at least understand that she was born at a disadvantage. See, but today it's not going to work. It's just not going to work because when a woman is born in a disadvantage, any kind of disadvantage today in this side of the world, she's taught that she's a god. She's taught that she's a god because of that disadvantage. And because of that disadvantage, she deserves to be able to do whatever sin against God that she wants to do. She's told that she's entitled to sin, to a life of sin. she could be the cause, the single cause of certain men committing suicide because of the stress that she caused these guys. And she will be told that it's not her fault that she was born without a father. What does that have to do with being with other men and causing them to commit suicide? How does being born without a father, how is being abused when you were younger having anything to do with you causing other men to commit suicide? See, so whenever a woman is at a disadvantage, and I'm not putting anyone down that has been through those things, but at the end of the day, there's just a point where a person, whether man or female, chooses to keep the evil going, or to say enough is enough. I've had enough of evil. I'm tired of evil. I'm done with evil. I can't witness it anymore, and I can't cause any of it. It's just a point where someone just chooses to live that life.
Yeah, brother, that's so important. That's why I'm a huge advocate for spiritual, getting your spiritual health in check, and also your mental health in check as well. Along with that, and both goes hand in hand. And a lot of times, people will think they can, deal with these issues on their own. Especially women, they think, well, because their friends are not going to go get some help, that they don't need to go get the help. That they think that crying over ice cream and Tyler Perry movies is enough therapy that they need. Tyler Perry is not mental health treatment. Murray Povich and Jerry Springer would not, help your psychological issues, young lady.
Yeah.
And we need to advocate for more mental health treatment, and more people finding a way to get their spiritual health in check. Okay, you better call out to Yahweh, Allah, somebody. But studies reveal that when you got your spiritual health and your mental health in line, everything else will follow. People are more successful. People are more balanced. People are able to deal with, more resilient, to deal with like problems, and they're not out here causing chaos in everybody else's life and being toxic. And so, we don't know, what type of struggles Michael B. Jordan was having with this woman, but we know that he thought that trying to marry her would cause her to run away from her ways, and that did the complete opposite. So, and anyone who can't see goodness in front of them, that is a mental health problem. When you are running away from goodness because you think that there's something better out there, that is a mental health problem.
Yeah.
So we got 2 minutes, brother. If you want to say anything else on this, we beat this today.
Yeah, most definitely. Most definitely. Man, this we pretty much summed everything up, but I guess what I could say is, man, everyone just pay attention. Just pay attention to the red flags. I think that's the biggest takeaway on my end on this topic. Just look out for those red flags, and judge the red flags according to the word of God. That's the biggest thing that I could say, because the word of God is so relevant that it's actually dealing with things that aren't happening yet. That's how relevant the word of God is. So yeah, judge those red flags by letting God be the judge of those red flags, and you come out on top every time.
That's right. Well, I love it, brother. That's a good way to wrap this thing on up. For those who've been watching us, we appreciate you guys taking the time out to watch us. For those who's going to listen to us, we appreciate the playback of this. Make sure you take the time out right now to share this with someone you know, someone you don't know, as it does help to further the message. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and comment as well. Your comments, your likes, and your subscription is definitely highly important, and it does help for us to keep going on and to definitely increase our community here that we're trying to build, all of our God pillars. So shout out to all of our God pillars out there, those who are repeat on the channel and on the podcast here. Shout out to you guys. Big thank you to you guys. And a shout out to a lot of other people that's doing great things out there too. Don't forget to check out Brother Gus's V's Wisdom Library at gusisvon.com. That's gusisvon.com. If you need that information, you still find trouble to find it, reach out to myself or Brother Gus's. Our Instagram is at GodPillWisdom on IG. That's the best way to direct message us. You can check out the network's websites coming back. The network's website will be launching this week. TransformURadio.com. You'll find a lot of cool things there. A lot of things will be there. It's coming back bigger than ever. Brother Gus, you want to give them your IG tag?
Yeah, that should be Augustus V. Actually, I do not know that by heart.
Yeah.
But yeah, you guys can find me on the if you can't find mine, you can find me on the God Pill Wisdom channel.
All right, God Pill Wisdom, your IG. So that's all we got for you brothers. For you guys out there, thank you so much, all my God pillars, all of our God pillars, and until next time, many blessings, peace, and lots of love. We are out.